Welcome to GOA365 English News Bulletin. I am Glenn and these are the headlines. Final stage for electioneering has begun as Monday was the last date for withdrawals. Election Commission also relaxes campaigning guidelines. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tables the economic survey, projects a 8 to 8.5% growth in GDP during fiscal 22-23. India's GDP at present is 1.3% above pre-pandemic levels. Shirgaon mine villagers block mining ore trucks, say they are all trucks from outside and want locals to benefit. And now for the news in detail. The final phase for electioneering has begun as Monday was the last date for withdrawals. Within 2 weeks is D-Day. The fate of candidates would be sealed on 14th of February. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has relaxed guidelines for election campaigning.
Today was the day for withdrawals. A total of 26 candidates have decided to stay out of the fray. Most of the withdrawals were of dummy candidate, but 1 or 2 candidates have seriously decided to quit. Out of total 587 nominations, 139 nominations have rejected and 26 nominations have been withdrawn. Total of 380 candidates are in fray. CEO Kunal briefed media on closure of withdrawal of candidates. He gave details of total voters including new, amount of seizures and poll preparedness including enforcement.
So as on date, we are having 11,64,224 voters and 11,64,224 voters, and in month of January, after final publication, we have received forms since December itself. So total 9361 names have been added. We are having total 9590 persons with disability voters and 29797 they are 80 plus voters. We have been giving this facility of absentee voters to these two categories, and as on date, that as per the guideline, the form 12D have been given by BLOs to all the eligible persons, and total forms received by the district election officers is 5938 in North Goa, 7346 in South Goa. So total is 13,284. Once the ballot papers are printed, the teams will be formed AC wise, and these will go to their houses to get the vote. Our enforcement activities are continuing. So far, as on date, 10 crore 13 lakh total worth of cash, liquor, drugs, petrol, freebies, etc. has been seized by different agencies. Out of which cash is 6.30 crores, liquor is 2.44 crores, drugs 1.06 crore, metal 0.02 crore, and freebies 0.30 crores.
Can you repeat? Yeah.
Yes. Cash is 6.30 crores, liquor 2.44 crores, drugs 1.06 crore, metal 0.02 crore. 81 flying squads are there. They are monitoring cases everywhere, and CVGIL app, we are getting the complaints, and as soon as complaints are received, they are taking the action. This increased by 9346 in the voter size. The current average number of voters at the polling station stands at 676. So we are hopeful that this is a manageable number. As you know that the polling timing on 14th of February is 7 AM till 6 PM. So that is sufficiently long hour, 11 hours are there.
Meanwhile, EC has relaxed norms for the campaigning. 20 persons are now allowed for door-to-door campaign. The number of persons for elections meeting in open spaces increased to 1,000 or 50% of its capacity. 500 people allowed in indoor meeting or 50% of its capacity. ECI has also extended ban on physical rallies till 11 February. CEO Kunal said.
Honorable Election Commission of India has extended the ban on road show, Padyatras, cycle, bike, vehicle rallies and processions till 11th February. Commission has decided to allow physical public meetings of political parties or contesting candidates in designated open spaces with a maximum of 1000 persons. Earlier this limit was 500 or 50% of the capacity of the ground or the prescribed limit set by SDMA. From 1st of February, that is tomorrow. Commission has also enhanced the limit for door-to-door campaigns. Earlier it was 10 persons, now it is 20 persons excluding security personnel. The Commission has now granted relaxations for the political parties to the extent that indoor meetings of a maximum of 500 persons, earlier it was 300, or 50% of the capacity of the hall or the prescribed limit set by SDMA is allowed.
Shyam Chari for GOA365 from Panaji.
Electioneering has now reached its final phase. Within a mere 2 weeks left for polls, political parties are pressing on the accelerator. However, there are many rebel candidates and some new faces in the ring in this election, given that there are so many parties involved. Here are some glimpses of the election campaign.
Former Chief Minister, also the former BJP stalwart Lakshmikant Parsekar, has decided not to back out. Parsekar has also made plans to bring independent MLAs together after winning elections. Parsekar is a former Chief Minister of the state and he would be fighting against BJP candidate Dayanand Sopte and MJP candidate Jit Arolkar.
हांगा मंडळाच्या समितीची बैठक घेवपाक मुख्यमंत्र्याक येवचें पडटा. हांगा मंडळाच्या समितीची बैठक घेवपाक देवेंद्रजी फडणवीसाक येवचें पडटा. हेतूनच तांकां 14 तारखेक जावपी इलेक्शनाचो अंदाज येवंक जाय. ओके 5 वर्सां आतां फुडलीं 5 वर्सां हांव घेतलो आनी म्हाका एश्युरन्सूय मेळ्ळें, म्हाका खात्री आसली. पूण ते जर मेळचें ना जाल्यार म्हाका ते प्रोजेक्ट हे जास्त म्हत्वाचे पक्षाय पेक्षा. 7 पावणे 7 अशे वेगवेगळे इंडिपेंडंट उमेदवार गोंयभरांतले येवंक लागल्यात. गेले 3 दीस 3 जाण येवन गेल्यात.
Mandrem Go Forward candidate Deepak Kalangutकर has also begun electioneering in full swing. Republican Party of India supporters accompanied Kalangutकर in the campaign. RPI had given unconditional support to Congress, who is already in an alliance with Go Forward.
जेन्ना 2 वेळा झडपी आसलो त्या वेळाचेर हे सायडीन हांव पावतालो आनी हांगासर जर पयशे आसा जाल्यार ह्याच भागान हांगार बांदेकार वाडो म्हणटा मोर्जी गांवांतलो. ह्या स्टेजीचें काम आमी जिल्हा पंचायतीच्या निधीनसून केल्लें. हेकाच बाजूक तेको नारोजी वाडो आसा. हांगासर मॅक्झिमम मोर्जे गांवांतले गणेश विसर्जन हे त्या हेचेर जाता. सो तो विसर्जन प्लॅटफॉर्म आमी त्या वेळाचेर करून काडलेलो. त्याच्या नंतर फाटल्यान मिलाग्रीस चर्च आसा तेचें असलें काम केल्लें आमी. मोरजे देवस्थानचे ब्युटिफिकेशन आउटसायड सरावंडींग काम केल्लें. विद्याप्रसारक शाळा आहा तेचें काम केल्लें. काही अनेक भितरल्यो पाथवेज बीन काम केल्लें. पण जी परिस्थिती आमी आतां पळयली हांगासर, ही परिस्थिती अजूनय अशी आसा काय कितें हें पळोवन खरेंच दुख्ख दिसलें.
पेट्रोल वाडलेले आसात, म्हारगाई ही वाडलेलीच आसा. हेच्या खातीर जर एकमेव पर्याय म्हणून गोवा फॉरवर्ड काँग्रेस आणि ऑल इंडिया रिपब्लिकन पक्ष येणाऱ्या विधानसभेक बदल करून आम्ही हाडटलोच आणि आमचो सरकार तिनय युतीचो सरकार हो घडोवनच हाडटलो इतकेच आसा.
AAP Kalangud candidate Sudesh Mahekar has put more urgency in his campaign in constituency. Cricketer Virendra Sehwag's sister Anju Sehwag joined Sudesh's campaign. He is fighting a giant, two-time MLA Michael Lobo.
Please vote for Sudesh ji. Vote for Aam Aadmi Party. Support him. Vote for Sudesh ji. Vote for Aam Aadmi Party.
आयज मॅडम आमच्या प्रचाराक येयल्या. खरेंच तांकां विश्वास आसा जो अरविंदजी केजरीवाल मॉडल दिल्लीन चलयला तोच गोंयान चल्लो जाल्यार गोंया खूब फुडें पावतलें. हांव तिका देव बरें करूं म्हणटा की आमचे कडेन भोवली आनी तिचो सपोर्ट दाखयलो.
Churchill Alema is the South Goa heavyweight who has been part of many parties. He has supported BJP. He will support BJP again. AAP's Benalim candidate Wenzi Vegas alleged today.
आज सगळे गोंयकारांक कळपा बरें की आम सदांच म्हणीत आहे की काँग्रेस इज बीन द बी टीम ऑफ द BJP आणि आज इलेक्शनां सगळ्यांगेले कॅन्डिडेट डिक्लेअर जाल्ले आहे आणि चोवपाक गेले जाल्यार BJPन 8 कॅन्डिडेट पोसपाक येयलो आहे म्हणजे फंड केलो आहे ते 8 कॅन्डिडेट्सां आज फंड कोताय आनी तितूंतलो एक कॅन्डिडेट म्हणटाय तो बाणालेचो TMCचो कॅन्डिडेट चर्चिल आलेमांव. कोण नको गोंयांत तूं आख्या बाणाल्यांत आनी गोंयांत देखून सगळे जाणाय की जितल्यो गोंय आज पार्टी आहाय तितलेय पार्टीन चर्चिल भितर सरलो आहा, तितले पार्टीन तो कॉन्टेस्ट जालो आहा, तितले पार्टीन ताणें गोलमाल केलो आहा आनी त्यो पार्टी सोडलो आहे. 2017 जेन्ना BJPके इकरा आमदार आसले आनी फ्लोर टेस्ट जाल्लो ते फ्लोर टेस्टाचेर चर्चिलान BJPक वोट घायलोलो, BJPक तेणें सपोर्ट केलोलो आनी तेणें BJP सपोर्ट केलो म्हूण NCPन तेजेर नो कॉन्फिडन्स मोशनूय घायलोलें. सो हें सगळें लोकांक उगरास करपाक आज गरजेचें. होच तो चर्चिल जो BJP बारात ही 5 वर्सां तेणें आज काडलें ते सपोर्टान. हेका लागून आज तेंगे गव्हर्मेंट फॉर्म जावपा पावला. सो आज हो टायम आयलो आहा की लोकांक चिंतपा जाय की हो मनीस जो आज TMC टिकेटीचेर बसला 10 तारखेर इलेक्शन जातली एकानी चान्स दिवपा न्हू कित्याक जरी तरी एक चान्स पडलो जाल्यार 11 तारखेर मार्चाचेर हो BJP जॉईन जावपाचो. 2017 जे भाशेन फ्लोर टेस्टाचेर BJPक सपोर्ट केला तीच नाटकां हे पतून करतले. सो लेट अस मेक अ चेंज. हो बदलाव हाडुया. आम आदमी पार्टीक एक चान्स दिवया बाणालेन, वेन्झी वेगसाक एक चान्स दिवया.
Sandeep Kamulkar, Ramesh Naik Raut for GOA365 from Andhra and Banyalim.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Monday tabled the economic report which detailed the state of various sectors in the country as well as possible reforms to accelerate growth. The survey projected an 8 to 8.5% growth in GDP for the Indian economy during the fiscal 22-23. The value is however lower than expected growth for fiscal 21-22 of 9.2%. India's GDP at present is 1.3% above pre-pandemic levels, economic advisor Sanjeev Sanwar said.
In continuation with reforms put in place last year to stimulate the economy, the survey focused on supply-side reforms to improve the resilience of the country. Growth in the upcoming fiscal is set to be supported by vaccine coverage, gains from supply-side reforms, and easing regulations. According to the survey, consumption trends in the country remained intact despite third wave of COVID-19.
Barbell's strategy was the following. On one hand, what we did, we used safety nets to provide some sort of a buffer for vulnerable sections, both of society and of the economy, whether it's MSMEs and so on. And on the other hand, we responded iteratively based on Bayesian updating of information. So rather than you use high-frequency data to keep track of what's happening and respond as quickly as possible, key enabler of our strategy, the combination of on one side, resilience or safety net, and Bayesian updating and response on the other.
Indian economy may witness growth of 8 to 8.5% in 2022-23. Agriculture and allied sectors have been the least impacted by the pandemic. The sector is expected to grow by 3.9% in 2021-22. Services sector was the hardest hit by the pandemic, estimated to grow by 8.2% this financial year. Survey warns to be wary of imported inflation. Wholesale price-based inflation during the current fiscal shows an increasing trend and has remained high. Climate finance will remain critical to successful climate action for India to achieve its net zero carbon emission target by 2070. Initiatives such as the relaxation of other service provider (OSP) regulations and telecom sector reforms would significantly increase job creation and catapult the IT services sector to the next level of growth. Capital expenditure grew by 13.5% year-on-year in April to November. Focus was on infrastructure-intensive sectors like roads, highways, railways, housing, urban affairs. The total capital expenditure rose to 2.74 lakh crore in April to November 2021-22. It was 2.41 lakh crore a year ago. The 2022 budget of central government would be presented tomorrow. However, before the budget session, Congress has scanned the Modi government's economic condition. Congress alleged that fuel prices have inflated during Modi's tenure, arguing that if Congress ruled, the country's petrol would have been cheaper by 22 rupees and diesel by 25 rupees.
उज्ज्वला योजनेच्या नावाखाली मोदी सरकारने पेट्रोल पंपावर आणि वर्तमानपत्रात प्रचंड जाहिराती दिलेल्या आहेत, प्रचंड खर्च केलेला आहे. परंतु LPG सिलेंडरच्या किमतीमुळं ज्यांना उज्ज्वला गॅस दिलेले आहेत त्यांना वर्षात 3 सिलेंडरसुद्धा घेता येत नाहीत असं CEGचं म्हणणं आहे. वर्षभर तर टिकतच नाही ते आणि त्यांना पुन्हा मग लाकूड कोळसा आणि शेणीवर स्वयंपाक करावा लागतो. 2014 LPG सिलेंडरची किंमत 410 होती. ती आज 900 रुपयाच्या वर गेलेली आहे, काही ठिकाणी 1000च्या वर गेली. आपण सगळे पाहतोय जवळजवळ 2.5 पट किमती वाढल्या. आता गॅस येतो परदेशातून, तर आंतरराष्ट्रीय गॅसच्या किमती या 13-14 880 प्रति मेट्रिक टन होत्या, ते 22 कमी झालेल्या आहेत, 775 आहेत. पण मोदींनी मात्र गॅसच्या किमती भरमसाठ वाढवल्या आहेत, कर वाढवल्या. कमर्शियल सिलेंडरच्या बाबतीत बोलायचं झालं तर कमर्शियल सिलेंडरची किंमत 2000 रुपयेपर्यंत वाढलेली आहे. ती आमच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये 1541 रुपये होती. पाईप नॅचरल गॅस, घरात जो पाईपनी गॅस दिला जातो त्यामध्ये देखील 35 रुपये 61 पैसे प्रति युनिटची किंमत होती. त्यामध्ये देखील मोदी सरकारनं 54% वाढ केलेली आहे.
Former Congress Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Prithviraj Chavan, alleged Modi collected 24 lakh crore through excise duty levied on fuel taxes from last 7 years. Excise duty on fuel during Congress regime was 9.45 rupees, but BJP in its tenure hiked it to 32.90 rupees. According to Congress, petrol would have been cheaper by 22.65 rupees and diesel by 25.25 rupees, Chavan claimed.
करवाढीमध्ये सर्वात सोपा मार्ग म्हणजे डिझेल पेट्रोलवर करवाढ, आणि ती डिझेल पेट्रोलवर मोदी सरकारनं गेल्या 7 वर्षामध्ये एक्साईज ड्युटीच्या माध्यमातून आणि बाकी कर डिझेल पेट्रोलवर लावलेले, त्यातून 24 लाख कोटी रुपये गेल्या 7 वर्षात गोळा केले. हे 24 लाख कोटी जर डिझेल पेट्रोलच्या करातून मोदी सरकारने गोळा केले नसते तर सरकार चालवता आलं नसतं.
Shamchari for GOA365 from Panaji.
Shirgaon and my villagers are an upset lot these days. Although villagers have got permission for e-auction of mining, they allege that the benefit is being taken by outsiders. Our trucks should be allowed to transport the ore from our village, locals demand, blocking outside trucks.
Mining is currently closed, but the permission is granted for e-auction. Therefore, the work of collecting material from Shirgaon mine has been started. But outsiders are allotted to work instead of locals. So the frustrated local truck owners block their trucks. Listen to what they have to say.
प्रॉब्लेम की आमचे काम जे आसा ते लोकलांकूच दिवचे. आमचे 120 ट्रक आसा. आता आमी एक 10 वर्सां आमी सफर करता आनी हे तर आमचो एसेट आसा तो आमचो व्हरून दुसरेच कोण व्हरता जाल्यार आमकां खंय तरी हे जाता न्हू. आतां पळय आमी एका 4000 खातीर गाडयो रेडी केल्यो जाल्यार आमकां थंय 2 लाख मोडचे पडटले. तेका लागून आमी हो सगळोच व्हरतलो पळय. आता कितलो आसा डम पॉलिसी. आता CM म्हणटा पळय डम पॉलिसी केला. डम पॉलिसी केल्या तेणी सांगचें की आपूण बाबा डम पॉलिसी केल्या ही आमी व्हरतले जाल्यार जेटीरूच व्हरपाक जाय न्हू. आता 120 ट्रक आहा तांकां काम मेळपाक जाय. आता गाडी रेडी करतलो जाल्यार 2000 खर्च आहा. आता सध्या आमी रिणान आहा. 2000 खर्च केलो जाल्यार ते आमचे भरून येवपाक जाय न्हू. आता डम हे आमी 4000 माल आहा तो व्हरोंक जाय जाल्यार आमी 2 लाख खर्च केला आमचे 10,000 सुद्दां भरून येवचे ना भितर. ताका लागून आमचें म्हणणें आहा की आमकां जेटीरूच व्हरपाचो माल.
Mahesh Goekar from Shirgaon for GOA365.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. India saw a dip in COVID-19 cases after it saw 2.9 lakh in the last 24 hours. While there is a sharp increase in daily deaths after 959 people succumbed in the last 24 hours. Goa too saw 11 deaths and 500 new cases in the last 24 hours.
Goa reported 500 new cases in the last 24 hours, comparatively less than yesterday's tally. However, deaths are still high. 11 persons died in last 24 hours. The Union Health Ministry is requesting people to get vaccinated as early as, given that most people who died were unvaccinated. Goa reports 500 cases in last 24 hours. 11 people died in last 24 hours. Active cases 8,760. 1,387 recovered in last 24 hours. 2,659 recovered in last 24 hours. 33 hospitalized in last 24 hours. India reported 2.9 lakh cases in last 24 hours. In same period, new deaths have increased to 959 from 893. The deaths are rising despite decreasing cases. Daily positivity rate stands at 15.77%. 2.9 lakh cases reported in last 24 hours. 959 deaths reported in last 24 hours. Daily positivity rate at 15.77%. Bureau report GOA365.
Now for the weather. Mainly dry weather prevailed over the state yesterday, with both maximum and minimum temperatures hovering around 1 degree centigrade below normal at 32.1 degree centigrade and 19.6 degree centigrade respectively. Weather will continue to remain dry over the state for the next 5 days starting on January 31st. Today's maximum and minimum temperatures are likely to hover around 31 degrees centigrade and 20 degrees centigrade respectively.
Minimum temperatures will remain stable for the next 3 days and gradually fall by around 2 degrees Celsius thereafter. There was some haze and light fog at isolated areas early this morning, which is expected tomorrow as well. Skies will also continue to remain clear for the next 2 days. There are no weather or fishermen warnings issued for the next 5 days starting January 31st. Dry weather for the next 5 days starting January 31st. Maximum and minimum temperatures today 31 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius respectively. Minimum temperatures to fall by 2 degrees Celsius after another 48 hours. Skies will remain clear today, tomorrow. No weather or fishermen warnings issued so far. Bureau report GOA365 with inputs from IMD.
With that, we have come to the end of this news bulletin. For more news and updates, log on to our website www.goa365.tv. Follow us on Facebook, GOA365 TV, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, GOA365 TV, or download our app, which is available on both Android and iOS, to watch all the latest news and updates on your mobile. Take care, stay safe, and keep watching GOA365.